Hello everybody, TP Gaming here and welcome to Her Story. This is an interactive film game where we get access to a police computer and we get to see a woman who has been interviewed 7 times by the police, and we have to search the video database and explore hundreds of authentic clips to discover her story in this groundbreaking and award-winning narrative game. So I've already clicked on it before, but I'll show you the videos that I have seen. So basically this is what you get. You get access to this police computer and you can click the videos and play them. And within these video clips, as you can see I've typed in Simon, I'll tell you why I've done that in a second, you will find clues as to search into here which will unlock more videos. The idea being that eventually we'll see all the videos and we'll be able to piece together the mystery as to what has happened. And that is kind of the gist of the game. So, I've got my phone with me because I think I'm going to need to write down some clues. If you want to do the same while you watch this, I would recommend it. So if you hear anything in the video, obviously you'll have to leave it in the comments for me, but if you hear anything in the video, make sure you write it down and then you put it in here and then we'll find out how we're going. So these are the clips I've seen so far, the ones with the eye on them, so I can click play.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
So that's where we got the name Simon from. I'll click this one as well.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
So I might write the word Amstrad down there. That seems like it could be something, and nobody ever uses that, so it's like an old computer then.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Okay, so she's mentioned accident there, so I think we'll write that down as well. I'd like to pursue that further. So, when you click Simon, you click search. That's brought up these extra videos here, I think. So we can watch these now. See what this one says.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work.
I guess it
mirror
was
making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
okay, so it makes like mirrored windows and things. What was his name? Was that in this one? Simon Smith. So now we know his surname.
He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
Simon
They do windows,
Smith.
all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful.
Okay. What was this one?
Simon's 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven.
Can we pause this? No.
Simon is 6 foot,
6 foot.
darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. And bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Okay, so holiday in Rome will be an interesting thing to...
It's the Rockington Arms.
Rockington Arms.
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Okay, so Rockington Arms, Peter and Susan. I think you're We write the... Yeah, we can. We can write things down in here as well. That's handy. I'm writing it down. We'll just come out of this a second, or move this to the side, maybe. How do you come out of this? Because there's some README files here as well that you can click on. Computer technology, the backbone. Retrieve clip, type in a word. Robbery, we could type that in, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, so it tells you how it works. Really README text. Hey, there's a database I filled in the freedom of information to get the work out. Everything seems to work. They transferred the videos of the original tapes in 1999. And then the Y2 thing hit. Mothballed. No one's touched them since. Okay. I couldn't find the server with the detectives footage on. Possibly those tapes got damaged and the old archives were flooded in 97. I figured this would be enough. SB. Okay. What's in the recycle bin? Hack info. Let me stretch that out. But interesting. Cracks with class. That's a drawing, look. That's a person. There's 2 eyes here, nose, mouth. That's interesting. And then we've got mirror tiles. Player 2's turn. Player 1's turn. How the earth do you play this? Okay, that's enough of that. That's not what we're here for. Ah, we can move this around a little bit more. Is there anything behind? There's a clock there. And a DB checker, database checker. So I think this is the kind of the videos we're looking at. I think you fill this up or something so you know how much you've done. Or something like that. So, okay. So let's try. Keep going through some of these.
Simon isn't the type
We've seen that one, haven't we?
to run off.
So I think we've done all these. It's weird how they're not marked though. Let's try. Let's try Rome. Let's see about that holiday. Just that one entry.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair.
Okay, so that's the one we've already seen. So that's a dead end. Rockington Arms. Nothing. Interesting. Well, she calls it the Rock, though. There we go. Aha! Okay, this is also on a different day, then. So what have we got here?
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
It's kind of weird she's being interviewed then. For a missing person.
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and
This is
Susan.
all we already know about.
There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with.
I wonder who those regulars are. What are our new clips?
Oh, God.
So this is...
I mean, I guess the Rock.
So that was the 18th of June. We're now on the 25th of June, so we're a week later now.
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. We've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong. No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Simon knew from the Rock.
A plumber, then? I wonder who that could be. Not a lot in there. Let's have a look at this. Plumber? Is that just that one clip that mentions plumber, then? Same one?
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Simon knew from the Rock.
Someone Simon knows. So he knows somebody who's a plumber from the Rock. So his name is Simon Smith. I wonder if the Smith only mentioned once. Okay, what else do we know? We know Peter and Susan. Again, that's only one. Okay. So these are the ones we've tried. What else do we need to try? We could try accident. She mentioned accident at some point. Aha. Now we're into July.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
Okay, we're going to watch that again. Look how sinister she looks. When she says it was an accident, she just turns in such a weird way. So she's talking to somebody
8,
here.
Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident.
She turns in a very kind of... It was like she's not really an accident, but she is telling them it's an accident.
And I left.
I think she killed her mum.
Walked out and across the street.
I mean, who says it like that? Even though she found out it wasn't her real mum, she says that so cold and callous. I think she might have killed her mother there. Should we talk more about her? She does. Ooh, this is a topic. 9 entries. Access limited to the first 5 entries. Oh, I see. So once you've seen these, you can't see them again, maybe.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
That looked like it stirred something in her, didn't it?
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
This woman is insane. I think she's gone crazy. So is this one of those like ink blot tests thing that they do, like psychiatrists do? Or something like that. She is she has some deep-rooted issues.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother.
Oh, she lose her baby?
She was a girl, by the way, the baby.
Oh, no.
We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
Ah.
But I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
So they were having a baby and they've lost the baby. But she has some deep-rooted issues around motherhood that seems to have come to the surface.
My mother called me Eve.
Interesting. My mother called me Eve. Alright. Because we don't actually... Do we know her name yet?
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story?
Yes.
It's a real-life fairy tale.
Okay. So she's raised by another woman. Who then, it sounds like she eventually murdered. Is that it for these? It says 9 entries found, access to the first 5. So we have these, but where are the... Oh, there's nothing else clickable here. Weird. So I want to have more into this Eve. Okay, there we go. Ooh, looks like she's breaking down a little bit there.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Interesting.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We were made up afterwards. It was a love-hate relationship.
I'm starting to worry for Simon's safety here. I think she's snapped at some point and might have done something sinister. So she tried to kill her best friend, but then something stopped her. But
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
wow. Wow, what a lovely person you are. Portsmouth. Okay, we can use that. Wow. And do you see the disdain she had for that taxi driver? For, like, I understand when you're young and an adult tells you you can't do something or does that to you, you'd be annoyed. But as an adult, surely you think, actually, yeah, that was the right thing to do. Okay, who's Hannah?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Yeah. So her name's Hannah. wow. So she didn't know she was being filmed there. Poor Simon. What are you doing talking about Eve? And some weird tapping on the table. Was that like Morse code or something? What was that? That was weird. That was weird.
My mother called me Eve.
That's just the one we've seen, yeah. Okay, so... Hannah. We need to have a look at Hannah.
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Smith. 31 Gladstone Street. Okay. She's very... And obviously we know she's got a few issues, but she's very nervous. There. It's an odd thing to share straight away.
Yes.
Ooh, lie detector.
My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Interesting. What was that about?
Yes. My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
So she's not Smith? That's his name, isn't it? Simon.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Wait, what? What was that weird reflection there that just happened? What was that? That was weird. So... Wait, so she's not Hannah, but she is Hannah. So her sister was Hannah, but she didn't... But... What? So what I think she's saying there is that they were twins, but one of them didn't survive, which was this person. But Hannah did survive, but then something's happened to Hannah later, and now she's taken her place. Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind.
She recognised me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
That reflection's chilling. I think that's us, isn't it? It's the character reflecting in there. That's weird. Okay. So she's not really Hannah. Is she her, maybe her real name is, who she's really Eve? Let's try lie detector. Because there's definitely more here.
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test.
Okay.
My name. That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
What's your real name? I take it this is the one.
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
Okay. Real name? So what's her real name then? Let's go for Florence. I think that was the... Interesting.
Across the road, where my parents
Yeah,
first
so this is the
lived,
midwife's name, Florence. So she mentions her a few times.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
Oh. So she's the... So definitely twins then. But her mum didn't want the twin. Maybe.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me. Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Interesting. So Florence raised her and was a widow for a long time. She was a bit funny about that, being a widow from her 20s. I don't think it did anything, did it? The biscuit tin, she had a life story in there apparently, but she didn't really elaborate. Nothing in that then. I guess we can have a look for the address. 31 Gladstone Street. Nothing. Interesting. If we just go 31 Street, make sure I haven't spelt it wrong. Nope, 31. She never mentions that again. Let's go for home. She must mention home.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
Interesting. I'll keep birthday in mind then. What date was that? Is that the day Simon goes missing?
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look at the baby, and we'll type baby in, and we'll type pregnant as well, because she's clearly been pregnant at some stage.
At the time, they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I don't know.
So, food poison. Poison. Just watch that again, make sure I haven't. So it's just food
At the
poison.
time, they said it was poison, food poisoning.
Okay.
I mean, I felt so guilty.
I felt so
If
guilty.
I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
I think you do know. I think you might have killed him.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
Interesting. Okay, so there's quite a bit from that I've taken down. I think we'll start with birthday.
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
When is your birthday?
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at...
Yeah. When is your birthday?
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of
I've already seen him.
eggs Benedict. Well, a week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
I wish these clips were were just not so disjointed. Okay. I think we'll go with baby and then pregnant. I think she might work with children as well. Is she a school teacher or something? Because she did say that the children sang her happy birthday, but she didn't. It sounded like she was at work when that happened.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too...
I've seen that one.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity.
Okay,
we
new
moved in
name.
with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came.
Eric.
It was a nice change. Time to myself. Living
Glaziers.
there for those months. Full of hope. No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body.
What?
I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
You can't end that there. What? Body. Police. Bin bag. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's watch this. What was that about?
Yes.
I thought she was talking about a load of baby stuff.
It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
Okay. Not bin bag, bin bag. There we go. Bin bag. I think that's the only time she mentions it then is in that clip we've just seen.
It was after dinner.
Yeah. Okay. That's such a weird thing to start talking about. What prompted that?
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... A police station? Yeah. When I was young. We ran away on my
I've
birthday.
seen this one.
No. 1984. Was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
Please don't tell me she killed his parents. I'm going to watch that again. It sounds like it though, doesn't it?
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the
Her
summer.
parents died in the summer.
It was a hot summer,
So she
a heat
killed her
wave.
parents.
So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful.
Look at that smile.
Because of the
That smile is
circumstances,
just
them
awful,
dying
and then
together
she
like that, they
smiles.
brought in a lot of police. A forensic
For a-
entomologist. I had to look
A
that up.
split second, she smiles.
It was
That's
because
weird.
of the heat. It's just awful.
Anybody else, this would be tragic. Even years later, this would be, even 10 years later, you wouldn't smile about that. That's really strange.
They said it was food poisoning. There was
That's where the
something
poisoning
in the
comes.
food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
And yet you knew how to do it. Look at that smile again at the end there. And yet you knew what type of mushroom would get you. Oh, wow. Okay. I wonder if she talks about mushrooms again. Let's type that in. Mushroom. Okay. I want to know more about. First of all, I'm going to type in poison. I think we've seen this one. I think that's what that's.
At the time, they said it was poison.
Yeah. So the next clip.
I got a job to contribute, Doug knew someone, and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school.
Primary school. We were
He
right.
said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids.
Again, that weird look.
It's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Okay. So they've always been a bit uneasy in their relationship. Let's see if there's any more to do with the mushroom. Just go mushroom. There we go.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
Ah, of course.
The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
Okay. Is this the whatever you found in the bag? Okay.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I slept through it.
Wait.
The police said it was the mushrooms they ate.
You were there.
Dad was a mushroom expert. He used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way he would have picked death caps.
No, but you would have.
But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
And you got away with it. She basically just admitted it there. I'm sure in the previous clip we saw that she said she was living at Doug and Eleanor's, and yeah, they died later that summer, but she made it sound like she wasn't there, that they lived alone or whatever. She's living in the attic. Okay, this attic brings up a lot of stuff.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
So she inherited the house.
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
I'm going to write doll's house down, because I think that might have some relevance.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Okay, there is something with this doll's house. She mentions it too frequently. Hair. So somebody's found some hair at some point. She mentions this doll's house more often than anybody else would ever mention a doll's house.
She recognised me from the...
Seen that one. Let's go for this one.
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Who says it like that? Even if you do kill insects, wow. Okay, so she's starting to get... She's from the start giving off a weird vibe. She's giving off some serious serial killer vibes, really, isn't she? There's another dollhouse.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Okay, are we talking to two different people here? Or is this always the same woman? Because when she said her name was Hannah, it came back that was a lie. And now she's referring to Hannah as if she's the one with Simon and that this person we're just talking to is not. Are we talking to twins? Or are we talking to somebody a bit schizophrenic? I am really, really not sure. Let's try Eve again. Nothing else for Eve. There's got to be something there. Let's try hair. We haven't looked at that yet. Oh, guitar.
What kind of hairs?
Okay.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your the street. There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and
This is what she was talking about before, isn't it?
watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
She is a psycho.
She floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swan. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
And then it gets really weird. Okay. So that's... okay. There's a lot to take in from that. I originally thought, have they got her to play the guitar because maybe the other twin can't play the guitar? This is kind of a weird thing to just ask somebody to play the guitar. So are they setting her up there? We'll find that out in a second when I type guitar in, but that's weird. So that's a very dark song. Sounds like she might have also thought about killing, or maybe has killed her sister. Guitar. Okay.
No. No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
Okay, so Simon can't play the guitar.
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
But it's your guitar. Okay, well, that's not helped much. Other than the fact you have a crazy song to sing about it. Okay, let's just match some of these up with things that I... what haven't we looked up just recently? The STD she got. So she would have been very happy about that, I wouldn't have thought. STD. I wonder if this means
No.
anything.
The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents.
There she
There
goes
was no way I
again.
could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park.
Okay, I
Let's
am
try
pretty
to
sure.
get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
Okay. So at the moment, my line of thinking is that this is Eve, and Hannah and Simon have lived all this life, but she's, I don't know, found herself interchangeable with her sister, or killed her sister and taken her place or something, or we're hearing interviews from two different women. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But I think we're going to leave it for this episode. We're going to about 55 minutes now, so we're going to leave it for this episode. We will hopefully unearth this mystery in the next episode. Well, I'm pretty certain we will. But, yeah. That was the first part of her story. I think we have more questions than answers, but we do have a bit of a picture building up of a very disturbed woman, Simon, who has gone missing, possibly murdered, parents also possibly murdered, a twin sister that's also, I'm not entirely sure whether we're actually talking to one or two people here, or if it's one person pretending to be two people, or there's something weird going on. But if you have enjoyed this, make sure you leave it a like. As I say, leave a lot of comments of things that I've missed or things you've written down you want me to search, and I'll get right on those. But until next time, I think that will do us. Yeah. So, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.